Hi, Mike McCormick here. And I'm going to do a quick talk about this book, An Almost Insurmountable Evil, How Obama's Deep State Defiled the Catholic Church and Executed the Wuhan Plandemic. And a lot of it had to do with that guy right there, Joe Biden, my time with him as a stenographer. See all the other books. There's me in the Oval Office with the presidents. That's 15 Years of Deplorable. There's my case to impeach Joe Biden. There's a big burn. There's Joe Biden Authorized. These two books are 99 cents on Kindle. You can check them out. They're pretty good. And then there's my latest one, The Big Burn. That's novel. So this book is about evil. And I think if you're following the news, you're realizing how much evil there is in the world. And it's going to become more and more obvious as the year goes on. I think they're going to start doing investigations. One of the things I hope they do is an investigation with me. I wrote this because I came across information as I wrote my Substack, Midnight in the Laptop of Good and Evil, about Theodore McCarrick, who was a high-profile cardinal. He ran the Washington diocese during the Bush years when I worked for President Bush. He was always in the White House. And then he stayed there even after he retired. He was still the high-level emissary of the Vatican into Obama's White House, and that's what I discovered. I basically I was in an interview with Alex Jones about that book, and he started. I followed his podcast for a couple of weeks, and about the spring of 2024, he started talking about this overwhelming sense of evil. That's what led me to think about, well, what was the most evil thing that I thought of in my time as a White House stenographer working amidst all these high-level people? And it was the relationship between Joe Biden and Theodore McCarrick. And that's what's in here. And the breadcrumb trail that I found is shocking. It goes into the Vatican. It goes into the outline of the illegal immigration invasion that is now, the ICE agents are running around the country trying to get some of these criminal people out of here. A lot of people are leaving. It's changing the way our country is perceived internationally and nationally. But as the layers of evil are stripped away, as we understand what's really been going on for decades, we see this is sinister. It's been globally sinister for a long time. And the Vatican is part of it. And so was Joe Biden, and so was Barack Obama, and so was Denis McDonough. Where's Denis McDonough from? Minnesota. There's a lot of stuff going on in Minnesota right now. Bad stuff. And it's been bad for decades. So that's where we're getting to. Then there's a whole part in the book about how Joe Biden and Xi Jinping in China and Hunter Biden collaborated to set up the Wuhan virus through a company called Metabiota that Hunter became an investor in. And Hunter was just on, he's been out there doing these podcasts kind of denying it. But he can't deny it. He's trying to deny it. He was on Sean Ryan's podcast saying he didn't do it. Well, yeah, he did. I'll be doing a Substack about that. So yeah, this is evil. There's evil afoot. And that's, that Metabiota, they were the ones that set up the biolabs in Ukraine. And as I've Substacked also, this book has the elements of people that are affiliated with the seditious six. There's a senator, Alyssa Slotkin. I write about what was going on the trip that Joe Biden took to Ukraine in 2015 when he got rid of the prosecutor. Alyssa Slotkin was on that trip, and she's now a senator in the United States. So this is the level of corruption we're up against. And if we don't stand up and say stuff about it, it goes away. Like no one does anything. I hope we see something getting done about it this year. I say hope because I'm not sure. I've been in touch with the FBI about it. I've been in touch with the U.S. Attorney's Office about it. I don't hear back to the point of saying, yes, we want you to come in and testify to us. I think I should. That's what I've said in here. That's what I said in there. And that's why I wrote these books, because it's now in writing, and it's not in a sort of an online library or a website that can be manipulated through AI. You know, if you do a search for something and AI says, oh yeah, that doesn't exist, do you believe it? Because I found stuff in the Obama library, that's where these books are from. I knew where to look when they had the whitehouse.gov website. Now it's archived in his library, and there's been some changes that reflect better on him than is actually true. They're hiding the evil that I found. So that's why you buy the book, because it's in your hands. It's a book. You can pass it on to people and say, you know what? This is crazy. This guy says this, and here's the records that prove it. Here's the actual links to the websites that prove it. The documents in the whitehouse.gov website. They can't get rid of those documents. They may hide them behind, you know, AI sort of cover stories, but they can't get rid of the documents. That's against the law. That's why I wrote the books. So go ahead, pull the trigger. An Almost Insurmountable Evil. Jump on that. It's a good book. If you really want to understand where our country has been and get a sense of where it's going to go as it gets cleaned up and how necessary this cleanup is.